just doing the same as everybody else, just singing. Nobody was looking at me. A couple of months later, I said, I need to do something. I need to do it now. I turned 25 and I was like, what if I just lay on the ground and started shaking and all, and I wonder would I go viral. And then I got the bus down back home, and then I found out that I did.
How do you feel whenever you put the suit on?
I feel like that's who I am. You know, when I'm in the suit, I feel at peace with myself. They said there's only a 20% chance you'll survive this operation. Since I died and kept dying, and they kept bringing me back. Yeah, I'm Jelvis Pelvis. I don't have any fear or shame, like, you know.
Alright guys, what's the crack? How are you going? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Best of Belfast, the podcast that celebrates Northern Ireland and the incredible people in it. Joined today in the producer chair by the wonderful producer Rosca.
Right here, ready.
In the guest chair we have the one and only, the undeniable, the uncontrollable, the uncontainable, the unfathomable Jelvis Pelvis. Legend.
Hey,
We had an unbelievable chat, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Alright.
Boom!
Whoa.
Do you find yourself like eating most meals out? Like on the street, if you know what I mean? Like, because you're working full time on the street. You're not necessarily slaving over the kitchen every day. Like,
Nah, the thing is, I'm staying. I find it hard to get proper accommodations. So I'm been in backpackers basically for about 8 months now, and I'm staying in one of the Holy Lands.
Yeah.
It's Lagan. It's called Fitzroy Avenue, and it's always full of people, and you try to cook and it's just impossible. And then I'd be that drained and tired, and you know yourself trying to cook and you have to wash it. I just couldn't be bothered, so I just buy out mostly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're doing such a high energy job as
Yeah.
well. Like, you're absolutely wrecked when you come home. I do one podcast, right? Which is like 1/10 of the energy you put out. I'm wrecked. I'm ready for going to bed.
Yeah,
like.
yeah. What I used to drink those, you know, those energy drinks, like I said, alert and stuff.
Yeah.
I stopped them. I get these caffeine capsules you can get, and you throw them in the water, and they dissolve. I don't know if you ever walk past me, you see a big bottle and it's brown.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's caffeine capsules. They give me energy because of it.
That's the secret.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you have trouble sleeping at night after performing all day?
I used to have gotten better at it. I've sleeping problems anyway, but I've been waking up earlier now since January started.
Yeah.
But back maybe in December and all that, I was sleeping 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, waking up in the evening.
Yeah.
Out then doing shows to 10 o'clock at night at the Christmas market, you know.
Yeah. Was that a busy time for you? Like, was that a good
yeah,
earner?
it was very. I wasn't expecting them big, the crowds that were there, like, you know. And then at the start, the markets, they were like, they didn't sort of want me at the markets at the start, and then they moved me from the cobblestones because they said this is a private property, but then they said it was too dangerous where I was, and then so we're going to put you there, but then they realised that the crowds I was gathering, so we want to put you in front of the market so people can see you across the road. So it ended up, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Class. So what's the rules, or what way does it work then? Take as much water as you want. This is not a fast-paced show. This is nice and slow and easy. So lots of time in between questions as well. Get comfy, mate. What's the rules when it comes to busking on the streets? Like, could him and I just rock up?
Yeah, there's no license here. It's probably one of the very few cities that you don't need a license.
Wow.
But I'd say over the years you might have seen more and more buskers, and I'd say now with the amount of them of us that have come, they will eventually bring in a license.
Yeah.
Especially with the preachers. The preachers are out there and their amps and they're shouting down the mics, you know, and it's causing a bit of problems, you know. So I'd say the city council may have to eventually get laws, you know, because there is so many buskers, and problem is as well, a lot of people set up and they just stay there all day, and it's not fair, and the rest of us want to keep the spot, you know, and then we struggle. They could be, say there's 5 good spots in Belfast, the busk, and there's 10 of us out looking for a spot, then
It's brutal.
yeah.
So what way does it work then? Is it like first come, first served?
Yeah.
Mate, what the heck? So I often see you outside White Stuff,
That's where I usually,
right? So like, if you rock up there and someone else is there that day, another busker, that's it. Your spot's gone.
Yeah, and not even that. There's this, you know, the circus act that goes under the fire during the summer?
Yeah.
They do this thing where they put, one of them heads to the bandstand at about 6 o'clock in the morning and leaves all their gear there. And when I started doing, they came up to me, and I was already there for hours, and said, "Okay, Mr. Elvis, it's time for you to go now."
Jeez Louise. Here, and those are beefy boys. Like, you don't want to be messing with those lads.
Yeah, and I even said to the police about them, and they said, well, there's three of them and one of you. What are you going to do about it?
That's a situation right there. Like.
That is absolutely savage.
Yeah.
Homeboys out here trying to make a living, like. That's like New York territory. I used to live in Manhattan, and honestly, see the boys on the street corner selling fruit.
Right.
It would be like a life or death situation. Like, who gets on the corner first? Or see the boys that sell Christmas trees on the side of the road.
Yeah.
They'd be flipping threatening each other
Yeah.
and all to try and get the spot. It's mad.
I know, and I remember too. There was when you're at the markets. Did you see? Were you in the markets?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see an Indian stall that was selling tribal stuff?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
He had a brother. I came over here at the very start, and me and Alan, you know, the opera guy.
Yeah.
We went. And we
He
seen him.
seems cool.
Yeah. But we seen this boy, this Indian fella, and he was playing the flute and he was selling all his tribal gear. And we went up to him. He was there from 8 o'clock in the morning. He said, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to come here every day and I'm going to stay until 4 o'clock for the next month. But then we were fuming at him and he said, we're just going to have to set up in front of him, hungry dude. But then luckily, he was selling, you see. A license inspector came up and asked him,
come on.
have you got a
Get
trading
shifting,
license?
lad.
And luckily, that was the end of that.
Oh, that's bonkers. So is there like a community among street performers, buskers? Like, do you just get on well? Like, are you familiar with most of the guys that are there all the time? Like,
Most of us we understand each other. Most of us, like me and Alan, and the opera singer, Alan Coco, you call him. I'd actually ring him and text him, and he'd tell me when he's going, and I'll save the spot for you, and you can set up.
That's
And
class.
yeah, that he's very sound. Yeah, but there'd be a few, you know, that wouldn't care about the rest, you know, and yeah. It's
Well,
just,
like I said, everyone's out there trying to make a living. Like,
Yeah.
it's the same as the music industry. It's ruthless.
Yeah.
The busking scene, it's the same.
yeah. How'd you get into it? Like, how did you become Jelvis? Maybe that's actually a bigger question.
Yeah, well, how I started it on the street was that I did buy the amp and I brought it up here, but I just thought, I was just doing the same as everybody else, just singing. Nobody was looking at me. I was outside McDonald's. But then a couple of months later, I said, I need to do something. I need to do it now. I turned 25 and I was like, what if I went and brought the amp to Belfast and just did something nuts, mad? What if I just lay on the ground and started shaking and all, and I wonder would I go viral? And then I got the bus down back home, and then I found out that I did. It says,
Wow.
there's videos of you everywhere, and I was just like, what? I thought it was a long shot that would happen, but it worked.
It's all about like taking those long shots. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, you definitely struck gold with it and stuff. Like, become famous pretty easily and stuff from just going and doing city busking and all. So,
It's so interesting how there's like the digital side of what you do is so important. You know, like we're in here, this is like a staged moment, right? So
Yeah.
there's mics and cameras. This is a fake conversation. But what you're doing is real. Like you're out in the street, you're performing for a live audience.
Yeah.
And then there's the digital bit on top of that.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah. TikTok, it's going great. Like, it's one of my last videos got 600,000 hits.
I saw it. I was looking at it.
Yeah. The social media is very important, especially young people now, because I can actually put up on Snapchat where I'm going to be, what time I'll be there, and then they'll go looking for me, and you know.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have a cult following. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I love, like, all the birthday messages you do. And all. It's so interesting. Like, you know, and I remember being in school and, like, guys who were out there on the digital scene and even just on the streets, it's all you talked about. Like, you loved it. And to see the next generation do that for you, I think it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Where were you born and bred?
I was born in Aldegalvin Hospital in Derry, but Strabane's where I'm from.
Yeah.
But actually, a few days after I was born, they found a serious heart complaint, and they took me to the Royal here, and they said there's only a 20% chance you'll survive this operation. They worked on me for 17 hours. That was the first operation, and I did. Apparently, I passed away a couple of times. I died and kept dying, and they kept bringing me back, and there was 3 operations, and it's ironic because the doctor, I wasn't allowed to do PE at school because I wasn't allowed to overexert myself, and now I'm out in the street doing that. They wouldn't think that was me, like, you know.
I mean, whatever makes a living in the end, like, it does well.
So tell me about that transformation then. Like, I can relate to you. Like, I was real sick as a wee lad, like, didn't do anything worth talking about when I was a teen, missed like 3 years of school. So how did you physically start to improve, or how did you kind of turn around physically?
I think over the years I just got better, and they noticed that see there was a hole in my heart, but they fixed it, and the hole must have got smaller, and they put valves on it, and over time it just I haven't been to see any of those consultants now for years.
Class.
Yeah, so I'm lucky that way.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Was music a big part of your childhood?
Yeah, Elvis was definitely. Anyway, there was when I was younger in Holy Cross College in Strabane, there was this big crowd. Like you'd see me hear a big crowd around me. But you know, if you were at school and you see a big crowd around, you'd think it was a fight.
Yeah,
it was me.
Yeah.
Shaking the pelvis when I was away. Yeah.
So it was always Elvis for you?
Yeah, growing up anyway, I went through different phases through the years, but Elvis was always the beginning, and he always was the man. You know, he was always the one that inspired me. Yeah.
What was it about him, or what is it about him?
I don't know. He was just different in some way. He was unlike the rest. He didn't care what people thought too, you know, because there was so much controversy. Have you seen the movie?
Mate, I can't wait to talk to you about it, genuinely.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, and you know yourself, that's kind of why he was just one of them people that was. He was the king. They called him that for a reason.
Yeah.
That's what attracted me to him. You know. Yeah.
Can you remember where you first came across him, or how you started getting into his stuff? Would you have been 2? Would you have been 7?
8 apparently.
8, yeah.
Yeah. Watching all the films when I was younger. And there was a family, one of my best friends. Their family was big into him too, and I think they gave me a video. The Harkins, they were Glenn Harkin, you call him. He's a singer in Strabane, but he'd be a big fan, and all the family was, and I think they helped in a way too, because I did a thing in the primary school when I was younger in the play, and I got in the white suit. And me only about 10, and they put a wig on me and a school pantomime.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you've been wearing the white suit for a while?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Wow. It's like a Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
How do you feel whenever you put the suit on?
I feel like that's who I am. You know, when I'm in the suit, I feel at peace with myself.
Yeah.
For some reason.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. Wow.
Anyway, well, one thing that's going through my mind is, do you not feel embarrassed at any moments doing it and stuff like that? Because, I mean, once again, it's amazing and stuff like that, but sometimes, some people like me, if I went to go upstage and stuff like that, or perform an act in front of my class, I'd get embarrassed at the end of it and stuff like that, or at the start. Do you not have any of those kind of things, or do you just go for it? Because, once again, you were saying it earlier on about Elvis and all, not having any fears and just going on out there.
Yeah, I'm Jelvis Pelvis. I don't have any fear or shame, you know.
Did you used to? Has that fallen off you at any point along the way?
Well, I definitely have noticed since I've started doing it, my confidence has went up. Not just on the street, but in general with people. Once you go out in the street and you behave like that there, you can do anything.
That's so true.
You hear that, folks? Just get onto the streets and all that, and then you'll be completely fine.
Mate, if
Build
everyone
up your
shook their
confidence.
pelvis, everyone would be so much more confident.
If everyone was just more like Jelvis Pelvis.
Because I remember before I was doing it in pubs in Strabane, you know, and there was even when that first video of me went up, when I went home, they were for a while they were judging me a wee bit, that dirty boy, going on behaving like that, and they said to me, "That's inappropriate. You behaving like that." And there's kids about, you know, and now it's turned into this.
But mate, that's what they did to Elvis as well.
Yeah,
sure. They properly tried to cancel Elvis.
Yeah.
Seriously cancel him.
Yeah. They wouldn't.
Or the pelvis thrust.
The barrel show, they wouldn't want him on it.
Yeah.
They only filmed him from the waist up.
Yeah. It's mad. Do you feel like Strabane has embraced you now? Because it's such a Northern Irish thing. You know, someone is coming up and everyone around them is embarrassed, their family, their friends, or everybody. And then they reach a certain point and then they're like, "Oh, no, you're ours all along. Come back.
Yeah. Well, then, what I do notice, most people in Strabane never call me Jelvis. My real name's Jordan. They says, "Oh, you'll always be Jordan to us."
That's nice.
Yeah.
So is that where you got the name Jelvis from? You wanted to add on the J from your name and all that?
Yeah. It was. It wasn't my idea. It was somebody else's. And then I just thought that pelvis rhymed with it, and that's what I was known for. So Jelvis Pelvis.
It's a core part of the Elvis character as well.
Yeah. And also, well, Funny enough, Elvis, probably seen the film, he had the twin brother that died at birth.
Yeah.
Name was Jesse. But what was interesting, you take the first initial off Jesse, you put it in front of Elvis, you get Jelvis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What did you think about the movie?
I loved it. I've seen it. I watched it like a few times now. I keep watching certain scenes from it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of inaccuracies of it. They did exaggerate certain things and put things in that weren't true, but they just wanted to make a good movie, and they did.
Yeah.
Austin Butler, he played a great part. I hope they won the Oscars for it. The Oscar coming up soon now. February, I believe.
Yeah.
They got the Golden Globe.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I didn't know that there was so much African American influence in Elvis. It was the movie that like showed me that. Like even that opening scene, like he's kind of, the way it was kind of portrayed, he kind of grew up in a ghetto alongside loads of black people in like a Pentecostal sort of church. There was that real spiritual side to Elvis.
Oh, there was that. In the ghetto, the song. Mm-hmm. That's why he felt that. He knew what that was about, really. Yeah. And he did grow up in one of those areas. That's how he got into that music. He watched those guys and the kind of music, and he brought it to. He was the first white guy to do well. One of the first, anyway, with the one that went, Yeah,
that's right, because at the start of the movie, Tom Hanks, isn't it? Is he the master? The Colonel? Tom Hanks is like, he's listening to the radio, and he's like, oh, that song's pretty good. And the guy's like, that's actually a white guy? And the Colonel's like, what? He's white? He's white? Are you serious? And that was kind of like the circus-like nature that attracted the Colonel to Elvis, was that he sounded like a black man, he moved like a black man, but he was white.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he got caught up in all the civil rights stuff as well. Honestly, I really knew nothing about Elvis. I thought I did until I watched the movie. We were completely captured by it. We loved it.
Yeah. I actually didn't. I thought the start it moved too fast through his career, and it wasn't until that bit of the Hollywood sign that it slowed down. Yeah. I always felt, some people said it was too long. I thought they should have they could have made 2 movies out of it. Yeah. Because they covered about from 54 or so to 70. They covered over 20 years. Yeah. And they could have made 2 movies, really.
For sure. Yeah. Is there a moment in Elvis's career that you're particularly inspired by? Because he went through quite a lot of changes over the course of his career, like.
Yeah.
Like why the white suit Elvis instead of maybe a different kind of costume that he would have worn?
Because I think at that hotel in Vegas, he was at the best. I think that was his best shows.
Yeah.
Have you seen the concert film, That's the Way It Is?
No, tell me.
Well, that's Suspicious Mind scenes. That's recreated from that.
Okay.
The International Hotel. That's where the big star attraction was. I think that's what was him at his best with his voice, the moves, the songs. That's why I wear the white suit. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm kind of, even when I'm not doing it on the street, I'm addicted to it. Yeah. I'm always watching them and I'm always listening to them. So I'm always. I think some people think that I play Jelvis. I am Jelvis, Yeah. I'm caught in a trap.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you glad to be caught?
Yeah.
Wouldn't change it?
Nah.
Love that.
So yeah.
I love the scene. I actually don't love the scene. I hate the scene. The real life footage they play at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect. Nobody expected that.
I was crying my eyes out.
Were you?
I had never seen that before. It's probably it's one of the most moving things I've ever seen in my life. So, because you haven't seen the movie, producer Oscar, I'll tell you.
It's on the notes. It's on the notes.
For anyone who hasn't seen it at home as well. So, it cuts the real life footage of Elvis, and he's really overweight at this stage. Oh, mate, go ahead. Get that water in there. He's overweight. He is on loads of meds. His face is all puffy, and he can hardly talk. Like, genuinely, like, he can hardly even, like, walk over to the piano. People are, like, helping him over and all. And he starts singing, and he literally delivers one of the most incredible performances you could ever possibly imagine. And this is a man who's got like hardly any energy left for anything else. And when he starts singing, something takes a hold of him. Can you relate to that in some way? Where maybe you show up on the street, you're tired, you've had a hard day, people are giving you crap or whatever, and you start performing and something else just takes over?
Yeah. What I do is very draining, obviously, and you can even see it. Probably you can see it in my face and in my eyes at times that I'm burning out, or I'm pushing myself too far. And every time before I go out in the street, I always think that, how am I going to do this? But whenever I go out and do it, then it's easy. It feels natural to me.
Yeah.
It just clicks. This is who you are. You can do this. It's not work. It's not pressure. This is who you are. And yeah. So, doesn't matter how I feel, physically or emotionally, mentally. I'm Jelvis Pelvis.
Yeah.
I know somebody has to be Jelvis, you see.
Well, there's only one.
Yeah.
There definitely is only one, man. No, I love it. I love that you put up a video the other day of, was it one of your buttons or something that fallen on the street?
I thought that was very interesting. I started to notice it over the past while. And it's like the mark I've left now, and it's stuck to the ground. I don't think you could get that off the ground if you tried it.
Yeah.
It's like the mark of the Jelvis, you know.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Well, I hope that like people come to Belfast and that's like on their to-do list. It's like, oh, I gotta go see the Market Elvis in Corn Market and the Spirit of Belfast.
Yeah.
What do you think of that statue, by the way? The big swirly silver one, like because you obviously spend a lot of time opposite it.
I don't know what it's meant to represent.
I have no idea. I think it's called the Spirit of Belfast.
It is, yeah.
But I couldn't tell you anything else about it.
It's only been there about 20 years. I think there was something else before there.
Interesting. Because that used to be like the proper, it still is, I suppose, but the proper heart of the city. Like Corn Market, it was like a big market and all, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm at Corn Market, but a lot of the people, especially young people, they think it's Victoria Square.
Yeah.
Victoria Square's the whole way down there.
That's right.
You know, and I'll be at Corn Market, but there's another busker around Victoria Square, so I always say now Corn Market Bandstand just because it can be very confusing because they're so close to each other.
Yeah.
And they just see it as Victoria Square, but it's different.
Well, it's Belfast's main stage.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Definitely.
There's no better place. Like that street, you know, Starbucks, and then there's like a Liverpool shop. I don't know what that is. Castle Lane. That is the busiest street in Belfast, guaranteed.
Castle Lane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like I used to work for Deliveroo, and that was the one street you hated cycling down.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the reason today actually. I almost just I was gonna a bike came past me and I almost got hit by a hammer. I was gonna hit him off. I was that close,
Yeah. I'm
surprised all the moving out on the streets that busy. Nothing's ever happened. Like I've never fallen over somebody or when I'm doing the karate I'm never, you know.
Absolutely. Well, has there ever been any moments on the street busking where people have given you grief?
It happens an odd time.
Yeah.
But it's usually the junkies.
Yeah.
It's usually the people that have the low life's like, you know, it's rarely anybody else, like, you know. And I just ignore it anyway, because the way I look at it, I look at the fan base, I don't care, like, you know, it's just your opinion. Because I know people, and you see it online, people that hate Elvis, people that say things about Elvis, that he stole his moves, he's right into the songs, and so whoever you are, even he said that too, but it was in one of the interviews, he was in the army, he said, people will like you, people will don't like you, whatever businesses you're in, you cannot please everyone, you know, it's just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't ever try to rob you.
I was robbed.
You were robbed?
Yeah, in summer. Nothing was ever really done about it.
Yeah.
The police or anything, but then somebody tried it last week. Somebody was looking in the bucket last Saturday too, and I said, why are you looking in the bucket? And I want to see how much money you're making, like, so.
Why would they even answer that? Like, all of them are even giving a straight answer. But what are they going to say? Oh, drop my phone.
I just want to check your income.
Yeah. It's HMRC. They're like looking at the taxes. What do you reckon's the biggest crowd you've pulled?
Oh.
I love how you refer to them as shows. I think that's epic.
Really?
Even when you came in there, you said, oh, sorry, I was just coming from a show. I think that's great. Like, that's a real insight into your mindset, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've started to notice how I say that too. Other people say I'm going busking, but I see it as a show.
Yeah.
I'm out to put on a show, and what's the biggest crowd? I'd say it would have to be the Christmas market.
Mm.
It must have been because there was that many people there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There's times even like I'll be there singing and I get a wave hits me about the amount of people that are around me. It's unbelievable. Times it's just that they pull that people in just off the street, like
yeah.
Because they don't expect to see me as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
when you're walking in the street, it's the last thing you'd expect you to see, you know?
You're right. And then on the other hand, you're now becoming part of Belfast's landscape. Like, you're recognisable.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, I was chatting to my granny on the weekend. Oh, lad, what are you doing? What are you doing next week? Who are you interviewing next week? I'm interviewing Jelvis Pelvis. Is that guy wearing the Elvis? Yeah, it is. Unbelievable. Yeah. And that's my granny. You know, that's my granny. Do you know what I mean? So, and even the guys in here were really excited for you coming in. So, yes, it's surprising the first time we see you. But then you've also there's something kind of comforting about it. It's like, oh, there's Jelvis, outside white stuff, legend. How do you deal with the fame? Like, do people recognize you when you're outside of the costume?
Oh, yeah. Even if I put up a hood and put on sunglasses, they still recognize me.
Serious?
Yeah. Like, we're across from Limelight here. I started it was in autumn, November, December, started going to UFO lot Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But I would just get hassled all night, really. Like, pictures and people taking a hand out of you and all that there too, and you just get no peace. Like, so it's like, I just have to accept, you know, I would rather have it than not have it.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. This isn't me looking in your bucket and seeing how much money you've made, but I did want to ask, what's the most amount of money one single person has given to you at one time?
20
quid? That's pretty cool. That's a good feeling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do they say anything?
No, they just give it to you, like, and I'd be very grateful. Yeah.
Has anyone ever come up to you and maybe shared like something emotional about like how much it means for them to see you doing what you do?
Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah. What's
going on there, do you think?
I don't know. Like, even yesterday, I was in Strabane and my phone rang and it was a restricted number, and he said, it was this wee girl. I said, Elvis, I love you. You're a god. I said, thank you, but how did you get my number? Because it's not online or anything. I don't know how they got the number. And I do that. People idolize me and they look up to me, and never expected that, you know. But
that's what I was talking about earlier, and I said like a cult-like following. Like, they're like, don't get me wrong, like, there's a real draw to you. Like, you've got a magnetism to you. You're charismatic as hell. But then, like, you see other people and, like, they're really, really drawn into it. And I'm always just wonder, like, for any person, whether it's Jelvis or Liam Neeson or a football player, I'm always interested to see what's happening in the mind of that person. You know, why they're so drawn to someone.
So what are you asking me?
I guess I wasn't asking anything. I was reflecting out loud. Why that wee girl, for example, that called you yesterday, and here's a question. Like, what is it you think that you do that makes her feel like that?
I think it's the confidence. Everybody says that to me. Your confidence. I couldn't do it. Nobody could. There's not many people could do it.
That's what you said.
I was saying that earlier on. Yeah,
maybe that's the talent. Really, the confidence. You know, the fact that I don't care and so many people do. You know, the people say to me, "How do you do that?" But it's nothing to me. Like, like there's even people think that I'm drunk and I'm drugs and all that just because they can't conceive how somebody could do that sober.
Yeah.
You know.
You're like, lads, it's nothing but caffeine pills.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing as well, like that I've noticed most people are mainly concerned about what other people think about them, which is why it's a good thing that you do as you do, because that just shows like it doesn't matter what other people think as long as you're following your dreams, which is definitely really good to see.
Mate, that's why I wanted to talk to you today, because you represent something that I think everybody wants and they don't have the balls to reach out and grab it, I think. Like you're like a symbol. That's what you are. You're a symbol of confidence. I think that's what's cool about you.
The symbol
I think
of
that's
Jelvis Pelvis.
I think that's what you do for Belfast. That's why I'm excited to have you here. That's why I'm excited to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. I mean, that means a lot to me. Yeah.
Cool. Is there a particular part of your craft that you've seen yourself get like much, much better in the last 6 months?
Yeah, the movements, definitely.
Yeah.
It could be from watching Elvis more, or it could be just that I'm doing it most days. But at the moment, as long as I concentrate on where I'm moving and make sure that I keep moving, I'll be fine. But it's definitely, I've noticed the way I move, it does get better and more in rhythm and, you know, more unique. You know, because I don't want sort of, in a way, you know, they said, but there's people that a bit of controversy. They said you're not moving like Elvis, but I sort of don't want to just copy him completely. I want to try and create my own, be inspired by him, but not try and completely be him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you're Jelvis Pelvis, like you're Jelvis Pelvis.
Millions of Elvis impersonators, like and they're all trying to be Elvis, but I'm just being Jelvis.
That's unbelievable. Do you practice at all? Do you rehearse, or do you do it all on the street?
Do it all on the street.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm always watching them. So.
And you must have been so excited when that movie came out. Like, if there was anyone in this world who was going to be pumped about that was you. Like,
it was me. I knew about it I knew about it for years because it was in the upcoming movies over the next few years. Then the trailer came out, looked really good, and there was so much hype about it before it came out, and then nobody could believe we were stunned actually how great it was. The cinema back home brought me to perform outside.
No way!
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, then they did it again on his anniversary.
Wow!
And you know, his daughter passed away.
I heard that recently. Yeah, my
I was shocked.
She was young, like, wasn't she? 60,
yeah, she was only 54.
50, wow. Mad.
She was married to a few celebrities. She was married to Michael Jackson, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And then she lost a son a couple of years ago. He committed suicide. Maybe it was the fame of his grandson, you know, couldn't deal with it, growing up and everything, you know.
Fame's hard. Something sticky about it that's hard to, I don't know, be free from it all, I think, in some ways.
I know, yeah, when you get recognised anywhere you go, and yeah.
I think, you know, movies are obviously so important. They've got a lot of power. You ever watch that Last Dance, the Michael Jordan thing? Man, I loved it. I got absolutely sucked into it. I thought I was a basketball player after watching it. But I think it was a Netflix documentary, and it sort of reintroduced, not even reintroduced, it introduced a younger generation to Michael Jordan and like all that basketball culture. And when I was watching the Elvis movie, I was like, I have a feeling this is going to do that for the younger generation. It's going to kind of bring Elvis to a new crowd and a younger crowd, keep that legacy moving forward. It's interesting.
The Last Dance is called.
Yeah. It's worth the watch. I'm not a sports guy at all, but I absolutely loved it. Very, very cool to look into. Rosca, any more questions from you?
More or less, like, what was, like, your thing, like, in the past? Like, you know how you're always a fan of music and all that? Is there any other hobbies you have and stuff like that you also prefer apart from music? Like, is there anything else?
No, it's...
music's always been your life?
Yeah. It's always been there. It's always been there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a part of me. And what was it again? Was it the end of the film, that thing when they showed the footage of me?
Yeah.
It was a speech he made, something about that without a song, many got a friend, without a song, the world ain't got a friend. It rhymed. Yeah. Without a song, but if they sang without music, there'd be no life. That's the way I've always felt, you know?
Yeah.
But... the music nowadays that the kids are listening to, you know, it's all dance music, and it's not like the stuff back in the day. It's not the same. It's
all rave and
yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, there is a draw to someone like Elvis.
Yeah,
I compare him to Johnny Cash in this way. There's like a depth whenever you listen to it.
Yeah,
there's something deeper behind the words that are being said. Like, I remember someone saying to me a few years ago, they were talking about jazz singers. They're saying it's always about the jazz singer's eyes. It's like there's a depth in the words that they're saying that speaks to you more than I could sing the same song and it would do nothing for somebody.
Yeah.
The way Johnny Cash, I'm a Cash fan. Like the way I hear him sing some of those songs, like he sings it as if it's truer than true. Do you know what I mean? It's like the truest thing ever spoken by a man, and he's talking about something that he maybe even never experienced himself. But I don't know how they do that.
I've never actually been a fan of him. I'm not a wild country music fan, but the film, I've heard the film's amazing.
Oh, to get that on your list too, yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, you'd love that, yeah. I actually think there'd be bits of Cash that you could kind of pick up. I think you'd be able to glean from it professionally.
Really?
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it.
I know they met. They were, I think.
Did they meet?
Yeah, some records were signed to.
What a great podcast that would have been. Elvis and Johnny Cash.
Yeah. The Sun Records. He was signed to Sun Records, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Couple more questions for me. If you could go back in time to an 18-year-old Jordan and you had like 2 minutes of his time, what sort of things would you say to him?
Don't go on the X Factor.
I had no idea you were on X Factor.
Did you not?
No, honestly.
Yeah, I was on that.
Why would you not go on it?
It kind of traumatised me. It kind of messed me up a bit. It was put on TV. It was, I wasn't ready for it, and then
Too soon.
yeah. But it's on YouTube. Jordan Devine, Candy.
Did they treat you badly? The producers?
No, they cut the film stuff and they cut it and made it look like I said these things
Yeah.
But Simon Cowell was actually nice enough. He was actually okay.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, if it hadn't been for it, things would be different still. But I still wouldn't want to go through that, and I'd say that to any singer. It doesn't matter how good they are. People told them how good they think they are. Those shows are just not. They'll just kill people. They'll just destroy people. Really, in the end.
So you're saying that like no matter how old you are, no matter how experienced, just don't go near them.
Just don't go near them. Now.
Interesting.
They're only looking for views. They're only looking for entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the performers, the clickbait, really, isn't it?
Yeah, like look at Jedward. Look how far they got.
Yeah.
They were funny and everything. Could get it, like, but then there was other people in amazing, and they didn't go very far, like.
Yeah. This is another one that might take a few seconds, right? So get comfy, buckle in for the ride. First thing that comes to your mind whenever I ask you, what's the kindest thing that someone's ever done for you?
Can it does it have to be one person, or could it be a group of people?
Whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
The day I got robbed and everybody seen it happen, they just had people within minutes they were handing me notes after notes. So I didn't lose anything really.
Yeah.
Awesome. Stuff like that. It's stuff like that really does restore your hope in humanity, because there's plenty of different moments where you wouldn't it's like moments where you just think, why am I in the same planet as this one person? But then there's also moments like that where you can just see how kind the world can be sometimes and all that. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
What Elvis song would you recommend me listening to that's a wee bit off the beaten track?
Something we can listen to like after this and all that. Just go and like put in our earphones whilst we're working and all, and just getting down to it.
Like something you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, see, if you've seen the film, you probably know, like, Unto Melody and If I Can Dream, you obviously know all that stuff. But maybe The Wonder of You.
Say it again?
The Wonder of You, I always start with it.
The Wonder of You.
It's very underrated, actually. It wouldn't be that well known amongst people that aren't big fans.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great song.
Yeah. Is it your favourite, or do you have a different favourite?
A Suspicious Minds will always be.
Suspicious. Yeah.
Suspicious.
Like, I keep singing it for some reason. I love it at the live version, the moves and everything, and there's something about that caught in a trap thing that I feel it's just right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You ever been to, what's it called, Graceland?
Nah, people keep telling me to go, but
yeah.
you know how it is, like flights to America, it's just so
it's savage.
You'd be talking 1,000 to get there. It's cheap to get in.
Yeah.
To get into Graceland is actually like not much. But
serious?
Yeah, and you can stay in hotels beside too, very cheap. But to get to America is just take a lot of money. But apparently it's on it's on like a main road out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, and it's beside a segregated area.
Interesting.
Because I was staying with a guy last week, an Australian guy. He said he went there to Graceland and he left and he went in this neighbourhood beside it and he was frightened.
Yeah.
He said he just yeah. So if anybody does go to Graceland, just be careful, because I've heard Memphis can be pretty rough too. Like it's not
can be, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome, Jordan, Jelvis. Thank you so much for your time.
You.
Appreciate it, mate.
I appreciate it too.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Aye.
And I really enjoyed it. Yeah.